All right, let's dive deep into The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, that book by Robin Sharma
Yeah.
that promises to unlock the secrets to a more fulfilling life, right?
Right.
We're going to try to extract the key principles and techniques that,
Yeah.
you can actually use to transform your life.
Yeah.
Imagine, like,
Yeah.
learning to live with more energy and purpose, like
Yeah.
from a group of monks, or figuring out how to erase worry habits with, like, a simple mental exercise.
That's the beauty of this book, even though it's a fictional story
Right.
about this high-powered lawyer, Julian Mantle,
Mm-hmm.
who has a heart attack and basically gives up everything
Yeah.
to seek enlightenment in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
The monk who sold his Ferrari is actually packed with practical advice.
Okay.
It pulls from real Eastern philosophies.
It's such a striking image, though.
Yeah.
This idea of, like,
Yeah.
creating a Ferrari for inner peace.
Mhm.
It makes you wonder if, like, we have our priorities all wrong,
It really challenges,
Right.
the conventional definition of success.
Totally.
The story kind of dives into this journey that Julian takes to this hidden Himalayan village called Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's there that he learns from these sages
Okay.
who seem to have figured out how to live joyful and meaningful lives.
So, okay,
Yeah,
hidden village in the Himalayas.
right.
Who are these sages? What are their lives like?
Think youthful vitality,
Okay.
even though they're older, like
Mhm.
radiating peace and wisdom.
Okay.
Their lives are very simple. Yoga, a pure diet,
Okay.
and a dedication to self-improvement.
So it's all about, like,
Right.
mastering themselves.
Yeah, mastering themselves,
Yeah.
self-mastery.
This is sounding less like a fantasy and more like
Right.
some actual
It is.
solid life advice.
Yeah.
And then the book has this, like, fable within it,
Yeah.
shared by one of the sages, Yogi Raman, right?
That's right.
It outlines 7 virtues for enlightenment,
Yes.
each symbolized by
That's right.
something in the story.
Yeah, and these aren't just abstract ideas. They're actually tied to specific techniques
Okay,
that you can use.
let's dive into those.
Okay. The first one is
Yeah.
all about mastering your mind,
Okay.
which is symbolized by this magnificent garden.
Okay.
It's the idea that your mind is powerful,
Mm,
and you need to tend to it like you would a garden,
okay.
weeding out negativity,
Yeah.
cultivating the positive.
So instead of our thoughts running wild, we're, like, choosing what we focus on.
Yeah.
How do we do that?
So one technique is called the Heart of the Rose meditation.
Okay.
You focus your attention completely on a rose.
Okay.
Its beauty, its fragrance.
Mm-hmm.
This builds concentration and calms the mind.
It's almost like training your mind to, like,
Right?
stay present.
Yeah.
I actually tried this and it was really hard.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
I kept getting distracted.
Yeah, it takes practice.
Are there other techniques that they
Absolutely.
use?
There's something called opposition thinking,
Okay.
where you actively replace negative thoughts
Mhm.
with positive ones.
Okay.
So you're feeling down about a situation.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing on the negative,
Yeah.
you force yourself to find something good about it.
It sounds almost too simple. Is that
It does
really effective?
It's about consciously shifting your focus.
Okay.
And if you do this consistently,
Yeah.
you can retrain your mind to be more optimistic and resilient.
So it's like mental conditioning.
It is a form of mental conditioning, yeah.
What stands out to you
Yeah.
so far?
Well,
like what we've talked about.
Yeah, this idea of mastering your mind,
Yeah.
it really resonates with me.
We do. Especially in today's world.
Right, yeah. Our attention is pulled in a million different directions.
You're
So-
right. It's more important than ever
Yeah.
to cultivate that inner stillness.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to the second virtue.
Okay, so the second virtue is all about
Yeah.
following your purpose.
Okay.
And that is represented by this towering red lighthouse.
Guiding you towards your destiny, but how do you even
That's the question.
figure out what your purpose is?
That's a journey of self-discovery.
Okay.
The book encourages you to really look inward.
Mm-hmm.
What are you passionate about?
Okay.
What are your values?
Mm-hmm.
What makes you lose track of time?
Right.
And actually
Yeah.
think about what you loved doing as a child.
Oh, okay.
Those are often clues.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
So it's about actively
it is.
choosing your path,
Yeah.
not just
Not just drifting along.
drifting along. Yeah.
And once you discover your purpose,
Yeah.
you have to act on it.
Okay.
And that's where it gets challenging for a lot of people.
Because what's the point of a lighthouse?
It's exactly.
If you're not going to, like, sail towards it.
Right.
What's next on this?
Okay, so the next one is
List of virtues.
represented by a 9-foot-tall sumo wrestler.
Okay, a sumo wrestler.
Yes.
I'm curious about this one.
This is the practice of kaizen,
Okay.
which is a Japanese term for continuous improvement.
Okay.
The sumo wrestler symbolizes the effort and discipline that are needed for self-mastery.
So it's not about, like, huge overnight changes, but committing to, like, small daily steps that lead to big results.
Lead to big results. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
The book really hammers home this idea of the power of habits. You have to push beyond your comfort zone and see challenges as opportunities for growth.
Okay.
Sharma recommends the rule of 21.
Okay.
Sticking with a new habit for 21 days straight.
Okay.
To make it stick.
That's a good one. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
Okay. What's
all right, number 4.
Virtue number 4.
Living with discipline.
Okay.
The symbol for this one is a pink wire cable.
Okay.
Think of that cable as your willpower, holding everything together, keeping you focused.
So it's about, like, building the inner strength to resist temptation and reach your goals.
Reach your goals,
What kinds of things do the monks do to build this?
One interesting technique is the vow of silence, where you practice self-control by limiting your speech.
So they just went around talking.
It wasn't about being completely silent all the time. It was more about recognizing the power of silence and using it intentionally. It's incredibly relevant, I think, in today's world where we're constantly bombarded with information and opinions.
Silence can be such a powerful tool for, like, reflection. So it's about finding that, like, balance, knowing when to speak up and when to
listen.
Listen. What comes to mind when you think about that?
Well, I think about all the times I've said yes to things I didn't really want to do or let people talk over me in meetings. It's like I haven't been using my voice effectively.
What's the next?
All right. Virtue number 5.
Virtue.
Is respecting your time.
Okay.
Symbolized by a golden stopwatch.
Time. The one thing we can never get back.
That's right.
Okay, break this down for me. How do we actually
respect our time better?
Respect our time better.
So there's this principle called the ancient rule of 20.
Okay.
It states that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your actions.
So it's about figuring out what that crucial 20% is and putting our energy there.
You got it.
Okay.
It's about analyzing how you spend your time, making sure it aligns with your goals.
Right.
This means learning to say no.
Yeah.
Letting go of the things that aren't serving you.
That's the hard part.
It is.
It's so easy to, like, get caught up in, like,
in the busyness of life.
Which
is why the book also talks about the deathbed mentality.
Okay.
Using the idea of your deathbed as a lens to view your life.
Okay, that's getting deep.
It is.
It definitely puts things into perspective. Makes you think about what really matters.
If you were on your deathbed, what would you regret?
Yeah.
What would you have done differently?
What's the next?
Okay, so virtue number 6 is selflessly serving others.
Okay.
And that's symbolized by sparkling diamonds.
Diamonds, that's an interesting symbol. So it's not just about, like, our own personal gain, but, like...
Yeah, it's about using your gifts to help others.
Using our gifts to help others.
Think about how you can make a difference through your work, your relationships, your community.
Right.
It's about cultivating strong relationships, doing acts of kindness, dedicating your time and energy to something bigger than yourself.
So it's about shifting the focus from what can I get
to what can I give?
What can I give? Okay, so now before we move on to the final virtue, like, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it's, like, beautiful in theory.
Yeah.
But, like, practically.
Yeah.
We all have our own issues to deal with. It's easy to feel burnt out.
It is. And it's not about neglecting your own needs or constantly sacrificing yourself for others.
Right.
It's about finding that sweet spot.
Okay.
A balance between self-care and service to others.
Okay.
The next virtue actually addresses that potential for burnout.
Okay, I'm ready for the final virtue.
All right.
What is it?
embracing the present moment.
Okay.
Represented by a winding path. That seems fitting, like a winding path, symbolizing all the twists and turns of life.
That's a good way to put it.
So it's about living in the now.
Yes.
Not dwelling on the past or worrying about
Exactly.
the future.
The past is gone.
Yeah.
The future is uncertain. The only thing we truly have is this moment.
Right.
That's why the book emphasizes these mindfulness practices.
What?
Like meditation.
Yes.
And savoring the simple joys in life.
Okay.
Letting go of regrets and worries.
It's so hard to do.
It is.
Our minds are constantly like...
Yeah, they are.
Racing.
They are.
Yeah.
Which is why these practices are so important.
Right.
They help us to slow down and appreciate the beauty of what is.
Okay, so we've kind of unpacked all 7 virtues.
We have.
These are all things that that Julian learns in this like hidden village, but how does he like bring all this back?
That's a good question.
To his old life.
It's a good question.
He can't expect his like old law partners to start chanting mantras in the courtroom.
Right. He realizes he has to live by example.
So it's about walking the walk.
It is.
Not just talking the talk, but like what does that even
what does that look like? It's not about becoming a completely different person.
Okay.
It's about finding ways to integrate these principles into your life in a way that feels genuine.
Okay, but like some of these things seem pretty intense.
Yeah.
Like the vow of silence. I don't know if I could go a day without talking.
Well, it's not about taking everything literally.
Okay.
It's about understanding the underlying principles. The vow of silence is really about cultivating self-control and mindfulness.
So it's about finding ways to like apply these principles that fit our own
your own
personalities and lifestyles.
Personalities and lifestyles. That's the beauty of it.
Okay.
It's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
It's a framework for personal transformation. Okay. That you can adapt to your own circumstances.
So it's like a toolbox.
Exactly.
And you can kind of pick and choose.
Pick and choose.
Which tools work best for you.
You got it.
Okay. But let's be realistic. Most of us don't have the luxury of like...
Of escaping to the Himalayas to find...
Escaping to the Himalayas to find ourselves, right?
Right.
So how do we actually like...
Well, that's a valid...
Apply these things in our busy lives.
Small changes can have a significant impact.
So it's about taking small steps. Maybe picking one thing to focus on.
Absolutely.
Each day.
Yeah, and remember the power of habits.
Right.
Small, consistent actions over time lead to significant transformations.
Okay. I'm feeling inspired. I need to make some notes here.
Take your time. We'll dive deeper into the practical applications of these principles in part 2.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
Great. Welcome back to our deep dive into The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. Okay, so last time we were exploring this idea of small changes leading to significant transformations.
Right. It's easy to feel overwhelmed.
It is, but remember, you don't need to overhaul your entire life.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
But how do we know, like, which steps to take?
Well, that's the question.
The book's full of, like all this wisdom, but it's hard to know. Like, it is where it even starts.
Well, pick one principle that resonates with you.
Okay.
And try practicing it.
Yeah.
For a week.
Okay.
And you'll get a feel for how it impacts your thoughts and actions.
Okay. So maybe I start with like the Heart of the Rose meditation.
Yeah.
Or trying to be more disciplined with my time. Just like one thing at a time.
One thing at a time.
Yeah.
And remember what we discussed about the power of habits. Like if you want to cultivate a new habit, commit to doing it every day for 21 days.
Right. And you might be surprised.
You might be surprised.
By the results.
By the results.
It's like that old saying.
It is.
You don't have to be perfect, just consistent.
Exactly. Consistency is key.
Right.
Now, there's this passage in the book where Julian talks about having a deathbed mentality.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds a bit morbid.
Yeah, that caught my attention too.
But the message is really powerful.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, it's about using the idea of your deathbed as a lens to view your life.
Okay.
Ask yourself, what would I regret if this were my last day?
Wow, that's it.
What would I have done differently?
Really thought-provoking question.
It is.
It makes you realize what truly matters.
The idea is that by living each day as if it were your last,
Okay.
You're more likely to pursue your passions, spend time with loved ones, appreciate each moment.
It's a reminder not to take things for granted.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to have to journal about that later.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears for a second.
Okay.
I have to admit, I struggle with this idea of selflessly serving others.
Right.
It sounds great in theory.
Yeah.
But we all have our own problems to deal with.
We do.
How can we constantly give to others without getting burnt out?
Well, it's not about neglecting your own needs or constantly sacrificing yourself for others.
Okay.
It's about finding that sweet spot.
Right.
A balance between self-care and serving others.
So it's about setting boundaries.
Yes.
Being mindful of our own.
And it doesn't have to be grand gestures.
Right.
It can be as simple as helping a friend in need or volunteering in your community.
Little acts of kindness go a long way.
They do.
Right?
They do. It's about creating a ripple effect of positivity and compassion.
What are your
thoughts on that?
I think, it ties back to that idea of shifting our mindset from what can I get to
what can I give?
What can I give?
It's a subtle shift.
It is.
But a powerful one.
It is. It's a perspective shift that can really transform your experience of the world.
Right.
Remember, we're all interconnected. Our actions have an impact on others.
Okay, so we're balancing self-care with serving others.
Right.
But what about those people who are constantly draining our energy?
The time thieves, as the book calls them.
Time thieves.
Yes.
How do we deal with that?
That's where respecting your time comes in.
Right.
We talked about this earlier, but it's worth emphasizing.
You have to set boundaries.
Right.
Learn to say no to things that don't align with your priorities.
It's about protecting our time and energy so we can focus on the things
that truly matter to us.
And
sometimes no is the most loving word you can say.
To ourselves and to others.
To yourself and to others, yeah. Remember those tools we discussed? Like the ancient rule of 20?
Right.
Identifying those high-impact activities.
Right.
Use them
to
make conscious choices about how you spend your time.
And let go of the things that aren't really serving us.
Exactly.
It's about being intentional with our time and energy, making choices that
reflect your values and goals.
Reflect our values.
Yeah. Now, before we wrap up this part, I want to touch upon something that's often overlooked when we talk about personal transformation.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
It's the concept of simplifying your life.
Okay.
We live in a world of excess.
Yeah.
Most of us are drowning in
That's the truth.
Stuff, commitments, and distractions.
I feel it all the time.
Yeah.
So what's the antidote to this feeling?
The book introduces the ritual of simplicity.
Okay.
It's about minimizing your needs.
Okay.
Decluttering your physical space.
Right.
Focusing on what truly matters.
So instead of constantly chasing more, you're
just making the most of what you already have.
Making the most of what we already have. It's a shift in mindset from scarcity to abundance.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Remember Julian's story about how he used to be obsessed with material wealth?
Yeah, he had the Ferrari, the money.
But it only brought him.
Right. But it didn't bring him
emptiness and dissatisfaction.
True happiness.
It's a valuable lesson. Happiness doesn't come from accumulating possessions.
Right.
It's about inner peace, meaningful relationships, and a sense of purpose.
So simplifying your life.
Create space.
Create space for those things.
Exactly. It's about letting go of the clutter, both physical and mental.
Yeah.
So you can connect with what truly nourishes your soul.
I think about all the time and energy I waste.
Yeah.
Worrying about things I can't control or comparing myself to others.
Yeah.
What if I just let go of all that?
That's a powerful insight. Letting go can be incredibly liberating.
Right.
We'll talk more about the practical steps you can take to simplify your life in part 3.
Yeah.
But for now,
yeah,
just sit with that feeling.
Welcome back to the deep dive.
We're wrapping up our exploration of the monk who sold his Ferrari and this whole idea of simplifying your life.
It's not about deprivation.
No,
it's not.
It's
about creating space.
Creating space for what truly matters.
For what truly matters, yeah.
It's not about getting rid of everything.
And living like a
minimalist monk?
Minimalist monk. Right. It's about
being intentional.
Being intentional with our choices.
With our choices, yeah.
So where do we even begin?
Well, the book offers some practical tips.
Okay.
You can start by decluttering your home.
Okay.
Go through your belongings and ask yourself, do I really need this?
Yeah.
Does it bring me joy?
Right. Or is it just taking up space?
Is it just taking up space?
Right.
Then look at your commitments.
Okay.
Are you overscheduled? Saying yes to things you don't really want to do?
Right, right.
And finally, look at your consumption habits.
Oh.
Are you constantly buying things you don't need?
It's like putting everything through a filter. Like, what adds value to my life?
Yeah.
What's just noise?
What's just noise? Exactly.
And remember, simplifying your life, it's not about, like, striving for perfection.
It's not about perfection.
It's about
progress, not perfection.
Progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
It's about creating a more, like, peaceful and fulfilling existence.
That's it.
You know, it's funny. We've talked about all these different principles and techniques.
Yeah.
But there's one that keeps coming back to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like embracing the present moment.
It's the foundation of everything.
It is.
It's woven throughout the whole book.
It's so easy to get caught up in the past.
It is.
Or worry about the future.
Yes.
That we forget to appreciate what's right in front of us.
And that's a tragedy because this moment right now is all we really have.
Remember that story Julian tells about Peter and the magic thread?
Oh, yes.
The one where
he wishes his life away.
He wishes his life away.
And then realizes he's missed out.
And then realizes he's missed out on experiencing each moment.
On experiencing each moment.
It's a powerful reminder that, like,
it is.
Time is precious.
Yeah.
You know, we should
savor every experience.
Savor every experience, the good and the bad.
The good and the bad, it's all part of the journey.
It's all part of the journey.
Don't put off happiness.
Right.
For some future date that may never come.
There's so much wisdom in that story.
It's a call to wake up to the beauty of the present moment.
Okay, I think we've squeezed all the wisdom we can out.
I think so.
Of the monk who sold his Ferrari for one deep dive.
Yeah, for one deep dive.
But it's a book you can return to.
Absolutely.
Again and again, you know.
Every time you read it, you'll probably discover new insights and perspectives.
Before we go, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought from the book.
Okay.
A time will come when you, too, will taste the fruits of that place called nirvana. Little hints will appear to confirm your entrance.
Yeah.
You will feel a sense of deep inner peace. Your relationships will improve. And you will radiate abundant energy and enthusiasm for life.
It's a good reminder that the journey to a more fulfilling life is ongoing. And the rewards are well worth the effort.
So as you go about your day-to-day, ask yourself, what one step can I take right now to move towards my own personal nirvana?
Embrace the present moment. Nurture your mind and body and connect with your purpose.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you found it insightful, and until next time, keep diving.